Yeah, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Examiner Mindset and Elimination Techniques class 2026. Yeah, every year we take this class for the students, and this classes have been very helpful for most of the students. So this year also we'll be taking these classes. So today will be a demo class, and followed by there will be 5 classes in this week. Okay, so we'll start from Wednesday. And we'll give 2 days time for students to join. Okay. And today we shall discuss basic things what we are going to discuss in the next 5 classes. Okay. And class timings will be 8:15. Okay. Every day the class timings will be at 8:15. So let's start the class. First thing, I would like to discuss about the difficulties faced in the prelims. And every year we are seeing this difficulties, in fact, increasing every year. So definitely the question paper will be tough in 2026 as well. So don't think that generally what you study definitely comes in the exam. Rarely it happens except a few questions. Rest of the questions generally you have to apply some examiner mindset to answer these questions. Okay, so even the toppers also do that. So you can also learn this through these 5 classes. Okay, so let's start with the major problems which we see nowadays. So mostly the main problem will be that the time issue. So time is the major problem which I have mentioned here. So last time, for example, let us say some of the students have given last year, right? So especially last year, what did you feel about 2025 paper? I think some of the students have given 2025 here, and in fact 2024 also, no issue. So any like last 2 years, what difficulties? Yes, one very important aspect of last year paper is it's very lengthy. Okay, literally very lengthy. I think from compared to other papers from 21, 22, 23, and 24, 25 was very lengthy. In fact, statement 1, 2, 3 questions. In 2024, there was only one question, I think, right? Statement 1, 2, and 3. But statement 1, 2, and 3 questions have increased in the 25 paper. So same thing is going to happen again in 2026 as well. Remember, okay? So in 2026 also same thing is going to happen. More of statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 questions will be there. That also we will deal in the classes how to answer these questions. We will see. Okay, no issue. Decision time, yes. Decision time for each question has increased as well because you are seeing so many the statements questions, 5 statements questions are there. In fact, options also. Nowadays you see options questions. There are 6 option questions. One, two, three, four, five, and six. 6 option questions also, I think you have seen. Almost, I think 4 questions, there are 6 option questions in the exam as well. So 6 option questions, 5 option questions. So to handle these questions, lot of time, takes lot of time. So in this context, especially, these techniques will be very useful for you. So rather than calling it techniques, it's better you call it a mindset. Okay, because even from toppers also, if you see, whenever they say that it's all the mindset on that day, on that 2 hours, on in the 2 hours, what you are going to do basically matters. So again, it's not easy. Just you just can't go and think there. Okay, so beforehand itself, you should have some strategies. So basically, you can consider these classes as providing you some strategies to answer those 100 questions in those 2 hours. Okay, so please consider these classes in that way rather than thinking just some techniques, removing some words and all. It's not that. Okay, it's basically a mindset. So coming to the major problems, yes, lengthy time issue and decision making time has increased a lot in the recent exam. So these things are going on, and yes, some of the students have mentioned about the content part also. Factual, lot of factual questions have increased in the exam. So we will see how to deal with factual questions also. And I will be in the class also. I will be including all the 2024 or 25 questions as well. Okay, so don't worry. So whenever we discuss techniques or mindset, uh, we definitely discuss all the questions of UPSC PYQs. Okay. And we discuss CSC PYQs only. Okay, I will not be discussing CDS or NDA. We will be focusing only on UPSC, CSC questions. So what is examiner mindset? So if you ask me what exactly is examiner mindset, simple. So basically, what happens is every question is prepared with an elimination mindset basically in the exam, because prelims is generally considered as a elimination exam or a selection exam. Prelims is generally considered as a selection or elimination exam. Obviously, it is an elimination exam rather than a selection exam. Okay. So it's an elimination exam. So obviously, don't you think always the examiner will have an elimination mindset? Like how to change facts, okay? How to give opposites, how to interchange the statements, what keyword they can include in that statement so that the fact of the statement changes. So always the mindset of the examiner is in this direction only. How to trick, how to change the actual statements. Okay, as how to confuse you all as well. Okay, so that is the basic purpose of the examiner who is going to set your paper. Okay, always remember that the basic purpose of the examiner who is going to set your paper is, obviously it is this, that okay, they want to eliminate basically most of the students. So obviously they'll try to give you confusing statements, they'll try to give you opposite statements, they'll try to give you illogical statements. All those things we will see in the coming classes. Okay, so what are these statements and all? So examiner mindset is not very complex. It is simple changes which are made in the statements. Very simple changes which are made in the statements which you have to identify in the exam. But it requires a lot of practice. So daily we will be doing a lot of questions. So with that, a lot of practice you will get. And question paper can have new content and difficult questions, but the pattern of the examiner mindset will remain more or less same. The mindset is always same. How they change the statements is always same in the exam, be it 21, 22, 23, 24 or 25. How they think in confusing you or changing the statements, in changing the facts, it is almost same in the past, let us say 10, 15 years also. Okay, it did not change. Just that the content will change. Okay, kind of. How they'll change, I'll show you. Different questions I'll show you today itself. Okay, so let's start with the examiner mindset. So basically, there will be two mindsets in the examiner. One is logical mindset, the other is observation mindset. One is logical mindset. I'll try to explain you some logical things, how to think in the exam. Second thing, just by observation also, we have to mark some of the questions. So what exactly this observation, I'll tell you in the at the end of this session. Okay. For now, most of the session we'll be discussing logical mindset. What is this observation? I have very good examples. With through other examples, I'll show you the observation mindset as well. Okay. So let's start the class. So what is this logical mindset? For this logical mindset, the most important keywords, see today is a demo class, so I'll be trying to speed up certain things. Don't worry, these things will be explained in the class again. Okay, so you'll have proper explanation in the class, but basic things you have to understand from this demo class. Okay, so today to understand this logical mindset, the most important aspect is to understand plain and not plain. So don't worry, these concepts will be explained properly in the actual class as well. For now, just understand what is plain and what is not plain. Because if you understand this concept, most of the questions can be addressed in the exam. Most of the questions are based on plain and not plain aspect itself. What is this plain? What is this not plain? I'll try to explain. Okay, for example, let us say, what is a plain statement? Plain statements are basically very simple. Okay, they don't have huge facts. Okay, they're very simple statements. Can anyone give me a simple plain statement which can be asked in 2026? Let us say with respect to any topic, like let us say take some science and tech topic. Give me some statement which is basically plain, which is very simple to understand. Some microorganisms can sustain extreme temperatures in space. Okay, very good. Governor is a constitutional office. No, cats can swim. That is seaside. Okay. I'm just asking, yeah, that you can consider it as a plain statement also. Anything with respect to our questions. Okay, like for example, environment is there, geography is there, history is there. Okay, and science and tech is there, current affairs is there. Okay, plain statement. Great Nicobar project can generate employment opportunities. Very good. That is very plain statement, right? So because it's a project, definitely it is going to generate, let us say, employment. Very good. So these are called very simple statements. Okay. And yes, stem cells are used in organ generation. Very good. So simple statements, very simple. There is no doubt in these statements. Okay. For example, I want you to give me a statement on pollution. Okay, any pollutant. Take any pollutant. Give me a plain statement in a pollutant. For example, PM 2.5 or PM 10 is there. Can you give me any plain statement with respect to PM 2.5 or PM 10? It is widely spread. Okay. PFS are non-biodegradable. Very good. Microplastics enter food. Very good. PM 2.5 causes respiratory diseases. Very good. Very good. So, in this way, you understood, right? So, basically, these are called plain statements. Okay. They are very simple, easy to understand. You don't have to doubt much. Okay. And how these plain statements are there, I will try to explain using different examples of PYQs. So, you'll understand different type of plain statements as well. Okay. So, basically, they're simple, easy, verbatim. There is no complex in that. Okay. There are no much facts also in the plain statements. So this is the nature of plain statement. Basically, what I have given is basic nature of statement. Now tell me, how do you non-plain statements look like? Basically, now you understood very simple statements, easy statements. How do non-plain statements look like? Very good. They will have facts. Okay, lot of data could be there. Very good. Data could be there. Lot of facts will be there. Very good. Opposites. This is the most important topic right now in the recent exam like 23, 24, 25. Opposites are being given a lot in the exam. Opposites like longer, shorter. Somewhere it will be short, they'll give you long. Okay, somewhere little increase, they'll give you decrease. Okay, something like AC/DC interchange they'll do. PM10 also they'll try to change opposites. They'll give you. Okay, PM10 they'll give you for 2.5, something like that. They'll try to change. And facts like organization. Organization can be changed. For example, let us say alternate investment funds are there. They are regulated by which organization? Alternate investment funds. They are regulated by SEBI, but they may give you any other different like RBI organization. They may give you. So in that way, they will definitely try to confuse you by giving different nearest organizations. For example, if you remember, there was a question on Mother Language Day. Okay, so generally Mother Language Day, what will be the organization which conducts such like cultural aspects like language? Okay, UNESCO, very good, UNESCO. Now they will try to give you the nearest some organization. Like yes, they have given. I think in the exam they have given UNICEF. Okay, in that way, even organizations also they will try to change. If you remember last year in the current affairs class, we discussed a question on this Amazon has created this Amazon and Microsoft. Okay, so we said that it will actually Microsoft. So in the exam they may give some company which is very near to, yes, Mazarona. So some company near to Microsoft. So which is the company, alternate company which are in the news? Yeah, it could be Google or it could be Amazon. Okay, and you can check the question in 2025 exactly. They have changed that Microsoft into what company they have given. They did not give Microsoft, they gave Amazon in the question. Okay. So in that way, they will definitely try to change the facts. So how the simple facts are changed also, we will try to see in the exam. So now coming to how I'll explain with one example how this plain statements work, especially in pollution questions. You'll understand what exactly is plain. Okay. So, for example, let us say oxybenzone is there, is asked in 2026. Let us say it's asked in 2026. So, if I say it is widely used in sunscreen formulations, plastics, toys, furnitures, and other UV degradation. So, I'm saying it is widely. I'm saying it is used in sunscreen formulations, plastics, toys, and all. Do you think this is a plain statement? So why do you think this is a plain statement, first of all? Possibilities, yes, very good possibilities. And one more thing, it is a pollutant as well. Pollutant spreading to lot of other environment aspects. There are high chances. So pollutant spread is always broad. Remember that. Okay, it's always broad. So in that way, it is widely used in Sanskrit Bhavan and plastic toys, and definitely it will be right. You don't have to think much or overthink on these type of statements in the exam. And if they say pollutant is not easily degradable, then is it a plain statement? Not easily degradable. Definitely it is a plain statement because context of the question. Pollution is the context. In that context, you have to see which are plain and not plain. So please do not just go by keywords. That is the problem with many students. They just see the keywords, not is there, they try to eliminate. Please do not do that. Always see the context. Pollution context is always, remember, it's a broad questions. Like it is impacting something, definitely it is trying to impact something. Okay, unless there is some quantity they try to give you or something, then you have to think about. But unless that, if they're talking just about the quality of that aspect, then definitely such statements will be true. Okay, so it is widely spread in sunscreen formulation plastic, then definitely maybe true. Okay, percentages and all they did not give right. Like for example, it is 10% in this, 20% in this, then maybe you should consider it as a fact. Okay, but just they're saying that it is widely spread, then definitely chances are there that that statement is right. For example, let us say in 2024 this question was asked. It's a pollution question. Again, I told you pollution question always have some broad mindset. So in this question, if I say PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging, what do you think? Is it a plain statement or not plain statement? PFAS are found to be widespread in drinking water, food and food packaging materials. Definitely these type of statements will be plain because I told you pollutant found in different things, definitely it is plain. It could be anything. Okay, I'm just they are giving you PFAs here. You can consider any pollutant also. That statement will be more or less right in the exam. Okay, so do not overthink. And they are not easily degradable. I told you pollutants are basically not easily degradable. Ministry, Santosh, I'll discuss that. Okay, I'll discuss ministry how to deal in the facts question. Okay. Now we are just discussing about broad, how to think broadly, how when to think broad and when to think narrow in the exam. Okay, that is a major issue, right? In some of the questions, students where it is required broad, sometimes students think narrowly. Where it is required narrow, sometimes you think broadly. So we'll address that. Okay. And next, persistent exposure to PFS can lead to bioaccumulation in animal bodies. Again, it is saying it will lead to bioaccumulation. So considering pollution, is it plain? Is it broad or narrow? Considering pollution, definitely it is broad. Okay. So this context you have to know for the exam. So whenever they say that a pollutant is present in different things, then definitely it is there. Okay. For example, let us say this question also many students had doubt in 2024. Now, if they are saying that many chewing gums found in the market are considered the source of environmental pollution, will you accept this statement? Many chewing gums found in the market are considered as a source of environmental pollution. Okay, fine. I told you pollutant, chewing gum, broad. You don't have to overthink. Now tell me what about the second statement? If they are saying that chewing gums contain plastic as a gum base, will you accept it or not? Again, I told you just now. I showed you. Generally, if they say that in pollution there is something, then definitely in pollutants it will be there. You don't have to overthink at all. For example, I'll give you a very good example. There are coal power plants. Okay, if I say coal power plants will have arsenic pollutant or let us say cadmium or lead or mercury or uranium, in fact uranium as well, is it a right statement or wrong statement? Again, I told you, right? It is 200%. It is right. You don't have to overthink on that. If they are saying that if it is releasing some pollutant, definitely more or less it will release some pollutants. In the same way, if they are saying that chewing gums contain plastic also, you don't have to worry. If they are already saying that it is a cause of pollution, and if they are saying that something, it will contain something, then definitely it could be possibly a right statement in the exam. Okay, so pollution, you will have big broad mindset or narrow mindset. Okay, definitely broad mindset. Okay, definitely you should have a broad mindset. So here, for example, how many of them contain plastic? If they ask you, so will you have a broad mindset or narrow mindset here? It's a 2025 question. Listen, very good. You should have a broad mindset, and the answer will be all the things. So this is what I'm just giving you some examples because today is a demo class. Okay, in this way, the entire class also will be discussing plane and not plane. In the first, I'll give you different examples of plane, different examples of not plane by using UPSC PYQs. Okay, so that you will actually understand what are plane statements. Today also I'll give few examples, one or two examples. So generally, plain statements, you will see the keywords such as some. Okay, there are something called middle statements also. That also I'll try to explain today. Next, there is a keyword called reduce. Reduce is generally a plain keyword. Okay, generally a plain keyword, and one of the is also generally considered as a plain keyword unless one or two exceptions are there. That exceptions we'll try to deal with. Yeah, all those questions will teach you in the class. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Just try to understand the class today. It's very important. Okay, all the questions what you have will be dealt in the class. Okay, try to understand the class from the beginning. Okay, else you will not be able to do the three column questions also. Okay, so all those pair questions, everything you have to understand properly the class, then only you will be able to do. Okay, so some middle statements, reduce, and one of the keywords are there. So those keywords are generally given in the exam. Okay, and how to deal with these keywords we will see. So first, I wanted to discuss something called middle statements. Okay, these are very important in the exam, and this middle statement actually helped in 2025 as well. How it has helped, we will discuss. First of all, what is this middle statements? Okay, so here, if you see, only some cyclones develop an eye. Only some cyclones develop an eye. What does this mean? Anyone tell me? Only some cyclones develop an eye. Some develop, some do not develop. Very good. Some develop, some do not develop. Okay. Yeah, not all cyclones develop an eye. Now, can I consider this type of statements plain? Some develop, some do not develop. Okay. Definitely, you can consider these statements as plain because it's clearly saying that okay, some develop, some may not develop. Okay. So these type of statements are plain. It is not saying that. For example, if I say no cyclones develop an eye, then what will happen? No cyclones develop an eye. Then it becomes very extreme. Okay, then it becomes. Similarly, if I say that some of those infected with hepatitis B and C viruses do not show symptoms for many years, then tell me what is happening here. Some of those infected with hepatitis B and C do not show symptoms for many years. So some do not show and some show symptoms. Can I say this? Some of those infected with hepatitis B and C virus do not show the symptoms for many years. Can I say that some do not show and some show? So this also becomes basically a middle statements. So these type of statements are plain or not plain? These type of statements are plain or not plain? Yes, definitely they are plain. Now we will see how in 2025 these concepts have helped the students. So for example, let us say this 2020 question. So tell me in 1 and 2, which is extreme and which is plain statement? In 1 and 2, which is extreme, which is plain? Very good. 1 is definitely extreme because it is not a middle statement. It is saying that northern hemisphere only. Then what is happening in southern hemisphere? Jet streams occur in northern hemisphere only. Then what is happening in the southern hemisphere? It is saying that it is absent or it is zero. Generally, we write it as zero so that you will understand easily in the exam. Okay. So jet streams occurs in northern hemisphere. Then what happened in the southern hemisphere? It is zero. Then definitely this statement is not a middle statement. It is a extreme statement. It's an extreme statement. Whereas only some cyclones develop an eye. Clearly we say some develop, some do not develop. That becomes a plain statement. Okay. So now coming to the next question. So this question also just now we saw. So which is not correct they have asked. Okay. So just to show that this statement is plain, I have given this example. So some of these infected with hepatitis B do not show the symptoms for many years. Whereas, tell me which is a kind of not plain statement here, which is kind of extreme, which is kind of zero. Very good. Hepatitis B, unlike C, does not have a vaccine. Okay. So in this way, this is more extreme and this becomes a middle statement. So that is the reason we say that just do not go by the keywords. So what students do is they see do not is there, here also do not is there, you will not be able to understand which one to eliminate in the exam. So if you understand middle statements concept, it will be very easy for you to answer in the exam. Now, for example, in this question, tell me which is a middle statement. This is a 2022 question. Which is a middle statement in this question? Middle statement. Very good. It grows Gucci mushrooms. Some grows in some Himalayan forest areas. Some Himalayan forest areas. So this becomes a middle statement. Very good. Similarly, tell me here. This is a 2025 question. Peacock Tarantula. 2025 question. Where is that middle statement? Where is that middle statement in 2025 question? Very good. So middle statement clearly it is seen its natural habitat is in India is only limited to some forest areas. Some forest areas. So clearly it is saying that in some forest areas it is there, some may not be there, but this overall if you see it is a middle statement. Again, can I say that UPSC is following the same pattern? Though they change the just the plant or animal? Can we say that? They are following almost the same pattern in asking the statements? Definitely, yes. So this is what I am trying to say, that don't worry about the content of the question. The content may change, but the mindset will always remain the same. Okay, how to handle rest of the statements and all, I'll tell you later. For now, you just understand the concepts. Okay. Next, coming to one of the statements is also very important aspect of plain statements. Generally, whenever we see one of the See, for example, let us say there are 10 countries which are doing very well in some of the manufacturing industries, let us say. Okay. So in manufacturing, some 10 countries are doing very well, or 5 countries are there which are doing very well. So in those 5 countries, let us say India is there, or Switzerland is there, or China is there, or let us say Vietnam is there. If I say Vietnam is one of the leading manufacturers. Is it right? Even if it is in the fifth position. Even if Vietnam is in the fifth position, if I say if it is one of the leading exporters, definitely it will be right. So that is the reason one of the is generally plain. Remember, one of the. Because they are not pointing out to a particular fact. They are not pointing out to a particular fact. They are just saying that among some things, Okay, one of the they are saying. So definitely possibility is very high. So generally it is considered as a plain statement. There are only one or two exceptions for this. These exceptions I will be discussing in the next during discussion I will be discussing that. Okay, those exceptions. Only one two exceptions. The rest generally one of the is generally a plain statement. For example, tell me in this which is plain and which is not plain. This is a 2023 question. Tell me which is plain statement, which is not plain statement. Switzerland is one of the leading exporters of gold. One of the leading exporters of gold. So I told you already, one of the leading exporters means chances are there. Okay, even if it is in fifth position also, you can call it as one of the. Whereas if they say Switzerland has the second largest gold reserves, then second largest is a fact. Can we say that? Second largest is definitely a fact. It is not like one of the. Okay. So in that way, definitely this becomes not plain and this becomes plain. So what is the answer of this question? The answer will be C. Okay, so in this way, it is very easy to answer one of the questions. So here also can you see the statement 1 and tell me it is plain or not? Statement 1. Vietnam has been one of the fastest growing economies in the world in the recent years. One of the. See, even China could also be there, fastest growing. India also could be there. But they are saying Vietnam is one of the fastest growing economies. So will you consider it as middle statement or extreme statement? Definitely you can consider it as a middle statement. You don't have to think it is an extreme statement. So why do I call it a middle is basically the examiner mindset revolves around 0, 100 and somewhere in the middle. That is the reason we call it as middle. Okay, so just for understanding purpose, I am calling it as middle statement. Okay. So because the mindset always revolves in this way. Either examiner wants to give something, some statements which represent 0. Either he wants to give some statements which represent 100. And sometimes they'll give you middle statements. I'll give you a very good example. Recently in 2025, all UAVs they have asked, right? UAV question they have asked in 2025. All UAVs can have a vertical takeoff. This question was given. Do you accept this statement? All UAVs can do vertical takeoff. Okay, again it becomes, we cannot say all UAVs. See, some UAVs have that vertical takeoff, but some need runway also, right? Now you have seen Iran war. In Iran war, the drones which are using, they require some runway. It is not directly a vertical takeoff is not possible for some of the drones. Okay. So in that way, will you consider them 0 or 100? 0 or 100? All UAVs have vertical takeoff. You can consider the statement somewhere here, 100%. So that is why basically statements which are talking about 100 or statements which are talking about 0, generally you should be very careful with those type of statements. Okay, I will explain, don't worry. All this type of, all the examples of this 0, 100 and middle statements we will be discussing in the class. And some exception is there for one of the that I will discuss later. Don't worry. Now coming to the factual not plain statements, which are very important because most of your paper will be not plain statements only. Okay. Most of your question paper will be not plain statements. So it's so we will be taking almost 2-3 classes on not plain statements. So how to understand not plain statements and all. So for now, I'll try to just give you one thinking. Okay, I'm just giving you thinking. We are not trying to answer the questions here directly. I'll just try to give you some thinking. Please think on those lines. For example, in this question, can you look for any opposite, easy opposite? Again, don't go for very difficult things. Examiner mindset is very, very, very simple. They will only give you very simple facts. They will try to change. Very simple facts. Okay. You have to just identify those simple facts. Like with reference to radioisotope thermoelectric generators, Considering the following statements, they are saying that RTGS are miniature fission reactors. Now here, it's a very simple fact is given here which can be easily changed. Okay, so we call them as opposites. Nowadays, in the exam in recent 23, 24, 25, we are observing that opposites are being given a lot in the exam. So always underline near opposites. Don't go into very difficult aspects and try to understand them. Not required. Very easy things only they will try to change. Okay. This is what I will teach you in the classes as well. How to identify these easy opposites. For example, here also tell me what is that opposite keyword you can underline which has been used in the PYQs as well. Giant stars live much longer than dwarf stars. Compared to dwarf stars, giant stars have a greater rate of nuclear reactions. Again, here also some comparison is there. Here also some comparison is there. But this keyword has been used a lot of times by the examiner. Like longer and shorter, they try to change in the exam. So these keywords I will be giving you. Okay. So when we discuss this opposite class, I will be giving you some keywords which are generally used to change the connotation of the question. For example, here also tell me this VLC visible light communication technology, which of the following statements are correct? Here also simple opposite has been changed. Where is that opposite? Simple opposite. Visible light. It's a very simple logic also is there for this visible light. So if you see a visible light in a room, okay, so whenever there is a light in the room, if you close everything, will the light cross the walls? Will the light penetrate the walls? Okay. Light generally, yeah, Puneet, sometimes they change the number as well, but opposites will have very, very high priority. Okay. Opposites will have very high priority. Then yes, you deal with numbers, no issue. Okay. First you think because opposites recently also we are seeing, right? A lot of opposites are being changed a lot. Okay. So that is the reason we'll focus priority also. We'll give some priority as well. In the classes, we'll learn that. So based on that, you try to eliminate the statements. Okay. So here simple things. First we'll deal with simple things, then we'll go to the complex one. So here light generally does not have that capacity to even penetrate the walls and all. So that is the reason visible light communication will generally have a long range or short range. It has to have a short range. Still, if you do not understand also, you can definitely underline this type of opposite keywords and first try to eliminate them. Then automatically you will get the answer. If you eliminate two, you will get the answer 1, 3, 4. Why we are focusing on opposite? Because it has high priority. There is something called priority. This also you will slowly learn in the classes. Okay. Now tell me here, observe this thing very carefully and tell me where is that opposite keyword. Means they are trying to change the statement entirely, opposite. Which is that statement? Biofilters provide waste treatment by removing uneaten fish feed. Very good. Okay. Removing uneaten fish feed. Biofilters convert ammonia present in fish waste to nitrate. Okay. They convert also. No issue. Okay. Biofilters increase phosphorus as a nutrient for fish in water. Now just underline increase and try to write the opposite of increase. What is the opposite here? Decrease. Now try to read biofilters decrease phosphorus as a nutrient for fish in the water. Okay. So filters generally has to increase or decrease. When you say filters generally has to decrease. So in this way, opposites are being given in the exam. So if you understand these opposites, a lot of questions can be answered in the exam. Okay. So these questions also I will try to discuss. Don't worry. So different type of opposites, how they give you. Yes, in this question, there is something called sometimes they use the interchange method. Interchange method. I'll explain this in the class clearly. But for today, I'll try to just show you how interchange is given. For example, which are the two organizations this question is talking about? First, tell me those two organizations. This question is talking about two organizations. What are those two organizations? This question is talking about two organizations. What are those two organizations? Okay, one is UNCAC, very good. Another is, yeah, in fourth option they are given, very good, Ravi. So UNCAC and UNTOC. Now, whenever they give in this way and they're giving some objective or aim of these organizations, look for any interchange. Can I say that they may try to interchange the function of CAC with TOC and the TOC function with CAC? So chances are there whenever they give these type of questions. Okay. So here basically tell me organized crime has been given here. Okay. And here if you see as a protocol against smuggling, smuggling keyword goes with corruption or organized crime. Smuggling keyword goes with corruption or organized crime generally in general thinking. Okay, smuggling keyword goes with corruption or organized crime. More or less smuggling keyword goes with organized crime. So clearly you can see what happened. 1 and 3 has been interchanged. So this type of technique also they are trying to use in the exam. This I'll teach you in the class. Okay. Now coming to the important part called binding and non-binding. Every year, I told you already, every year one question on binding, non-binding is asked. Easy 2 marks in the exam. Easy 2 marks you will get in the exam if you understand what is binding and what is not binding. I think in 2025 also they have given binding, non-binding. Anyone idea? Any idea in 2025 there was a question on binding, non-binding? 2025? Okay, so I'll tell you one simple logic for binding and non-binding. The logic is very simple. What are binding and what are non-binding, you have to know. So generally, remember, you can note this down. Agreements, conventions, and treaties are generally binding or non-binding. Agreements, conventions, and treaties. They are generally binding. Okay. Whereas declarations, compacts, partnerships, protocols will depend upon the context. Okay, for example, Kyoto protocol is there, Kyoto protocol is actually binding. Okay, means once the protocol is there, it has to be adopted. It has to be adopted, then it may become binding. But basic things like declarations, compacts, partnerships, agreements, conventions, okay, they are basically, you have to see agreements, conventions, and treaties are binding, whereas declarations, compacts, partnerships are non-binding. Now you see this question. Tell me UNCAC is binding or not? UNCAC is binding or not? Why it is binding? What is the keyword in UNCAC? What is the keyword which is given in UNCAC which is saying that it is binding? Very good, very good. Convention. Convention is a binding keyword. Very good. Now let us see 2025 question. In 2025, COP28 Declaration on Climate and Health is binding. Are declarations binding? Definitely declarations are not binding. And remember in statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 questions, based on the options, if you see, statement 1 is, based on the options, statement 1 is always true. Remember that. Okay, based on the options. There is no option saying that statement 1 is wrong. Okay, so remember, whenever they are giving you statement 1, statement 2, statement 3 questions, statement 1 is true. Okay. See, Nilima, whenever in these options, in this way, they try to give options because they did not change the options in 2024 and 2025 also they did not change. So we are expecting that in 2026 also they will follow the same options. Okay, just in case you just check the options once before doing this, just check the options, you will understand. Because in the options, if you see, there is no way something has mentioned that statement one is wrong. Okay, so in this type of questions, we are thinking that generally what they are trying to ask is statement one they are trying to give, and they are trying to give two explanations. Okay, then in this scenario, can I say that statement one always should be true? Because the question pattern is in that way. Okay, so the examiner mind when they are creating this question, the mindset is they will give statement one, and the statement two and three are basically they are trying to ask are there reasons or not. Okay, so that is the reason. Remember, more or less statement one is always true if they are giving the same options in 2026. Okay, if they give you the same options, you don't have to waste any time. You can directly consider this statement as plain. Okay, understood everyone what I'm trying to say here? If they are going to give you same options, statement one is always right. Okay, any doubt in this? Because see, this is very important. No one has any doubt, then I'll move forward. Okay, if they give you the same options, statement one is always right. Anyways, yeah, Mrinal, what I'm trying to say is if you see the options, Mrinal, here, both statement 2 and 3 are correct, and both of them explain statement 1. Okay, both statement 2 and 3 are correct, but only one of them explains statement 1. Only one of the statement 2 and 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. Neither 2 nor 3 is correct. In all these options, anywhere in these options, is it mentioned that statement 1 is wrong? Did they mention statement 1 is wrong? In all these four options, did they mention statement 1 is wrong? Clearly, they did not mention statement 1 is wrong. So what happens to statement 1 automatically? Statement 1 will be always right. Remember that. Okay. So in the exam also, you will save time. Do not overthink on the statement 1 at all in the exam, if the options are exactly in the same way. Okay. Now coming to declaration part, when declarations are not binding, then what is the possible answer of this question? So declarations are non-binding. So statement 2 is completely wrong. So tell me here, what will be the answer of the question? Yes, only one of the statement 2 or 3 is correct, and that explains statement 1. Okay, you can go for C. C is the best possible answer in this scenario. Very good. Now, for example, I just want to ask you certain things. You just answer it. Global compacts, binding or not binding? Global compacts, binding or not binding? You can just give me short forms, okay? NB or B. You don't have to write the entire spelling. NB or B. Partnership, partnership, very good. Sites, sites is binding or not binding? Sites, sites. What is C in this? Sites, C is convention, very good, convention. Okay, very good. So sites becomes binding, very good. Global AI impact commons. Global AI impact commons. Commons has given. So commons is generally binding or not binding? It is again non-binding. This is in recently in use. It has been recently adopted in which summit? Global AI Compact Commons. It has been recently adopted in AI Summit in India, in New Delhi Declaration. Okay. Anyways, I'll cover that in current affairs. Don't worry. So Global AI Compact Commons also is non-binding. What about biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction agreement? Binding or not binding? Why it is binding? What is the keyword? Very good agreement. Agreement is the keyword. High seas treaty. High seas treaty. Treaty is binding or not binding? Very good. Very good. Binding. Now, recently, WHO pandemic agreement is there, which has been adopted recently. Binding or not binding? WHO pandemic agreement. Why binding? Why it is binding? Keyword agreement. Now understood everyone? Even if you do not know, easily you can answer the questions. Okay? Because you already know that agreements, treaties and conventions are binding. Rest most of the things are non-binding. All these things I'll try to explain in the actual class because today is a demo class. So I'll not be able to explain everything. Basic things I wanted to tell you. This all concept also I'll try to explain in the class. Now today it's not possible for to explain all how to handle all. Yeah, now coming to the facts which are generally changed in the exam. So just now some of the students asked me ministry or institutions how they are generally changed. For example, in this question, whenever they want to change the facts, there is some particular pattern in that. Okay. So for example, here, tell me exercise Mitra Shakti. This was a joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. It is commenced in Aund and joint response during counter-terrorism. Indian Air Force was a part of the exercise. First of all, tell me which are not plain in this, which are facts. Identify which are facts first. Place is a fact, very good. Countries are fact, very good. Okay, place is a fact, countries are fact. But if you see the options, what are options saying? If you see the options, what are options saying? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. Means only one of them is wrong. It could be 1, it could be 2, it could be 3, or it could be 4. Okay. But the facts clearly are visible in Aund and joint military exercise between India and Bangladesh. Now, based on your PYQs, which has more priority of elimination? Which fact has more priority of elimination based on PYQs? So if you see the keywords like jointly by, joint by or joint exercise, so this keyword has high priority of elimination. This I'll in the classes we will discuss these type of keywords. This last year also I told you and it has helped in 2025. So tell me here where is the keyword and which statement is wrong? Keyword. What is a keyword? Like joint keyword is there. Yes. Introduce. Introduce by. Introduce by. They will try to give you some organization here. Okay. So these type of statements are wrong. So this we discussed last year as well. And it has actually helped in 2025 exam as well. So in this way, there will be a lot of keywords like coordinated by, set up by. Okay, I'll give you in the class, actual class when we discuss, we'll discuss those keywords as well. Okay, now tell me, find out here in this question. This is a recent 2021 question, I think. Tell me where is that keyword and which statement is wrong. Very good, very good. Center is jointly promoted. Okay, jointly promoted by Reserve Bank of India and Bombay Stock Exchange. Okay, so these type of statements are followed by institutions. Okay, these keywords followed by clear institutions. Clear institutions. Okay, so such as SEBI. Yes, if they say SEBI, if they say RBI, if they say Bombay, in that way. Okay, so clear institutions are there. Those things will be wrong in the exam. And I told you, I told you one exception also. So why I'm discussing exception for one of the, see, it is one of the agencies of United States Nations. Here what happens, though one of the is there, but here what is there? Here, clear organization or fact is there. Okay, clear organization. So the only exception for one of the is it should not be followed by an institution. Remember that. Okay. For example, it is say it is one of the initiative of World Bank. If I say, is it a plain statement or not plain statement? It is one of the initiative of World Bank. It again becomes not plain. Becomes not plain. Becomes not plain. Why? Why it becomes not plain? Though one of the is there because of the institution or organization. This is the only exception for one of the. Rest of the one of the are generally right. Okay. One numerical exception also is there that we'll discuss in the class. Rest most of the one of the statements are right. Okay. Now coming to one more very important aspect, broad and narrow. I wanted to try to explain broad and narrow using this question as well. For example, World Toilet Organization is a broad organization or narrow organization? World Toilet Organization. World, the keyword world also is there. Means World Bank is there. World Bank is a broad organization or narrow organization? World Bank. Obviously, it's a broad organization, right? Similarly, World Toilet Organization means is it working for the entire world? Definitely yes. Okay, because the name itself suggests that World Toilet Organization. So such type of organizations, what will be the main focus of such organization? First of all, it's an organization. It's not a fund or something, it's an organization. So World Toilet Organization, what will be the main aim or objective of such organization? Will the aim and objective will be broad or narrow? For such organizations, will the aim or objective will be broad or narrow? Inclusive of all, very good. Inclusive of all means basically it should be a very broad aim. Okay, collective goals, yes, very broad. Now tell me the main focus of such organizations will be granting fund or the main focus will be cleanliness or sanitation, okay, or hygiene. So tell me here, funding becomes a narrow thing or sanitation is a broad thing. When we are talking about main focus of these type of organizations, the aim and objective should be broad or narrow. First of all, tell me that. Whenever we are talking about broad organizations, the aim and objective should be broad. But what they have given here, tell me in third statement. In third statement, what they have given? They have given a narrow, they have given a narrow function. So this is how they try to give opposites in the exam as well. Whereas the question talking about broad and the option will be kind of narrow. I'll give you a very good example of this. Do you remember small finance banks, everyone? Small finance banks. Small finance banks. So now I'll give you a statement. Just tell me, is this objective narrow or broad? Concerning small finance banks. Small finance banks are basically for to giving loans for rural youth, particularly loans for rural youth. Is it narrow or broad? Yes, exactly. Then it automatically becomes narrow. But if I say small finance banks are being set up to give loans for marginal farmers, small and marginal farmers, then automatically it becomes broad. Okay. So this is how you need to understand. When broad things are there, the aim and objective should also be When broad things are there, the aim and objective should also be broad. That's it. Okay, that is the only understanding. Yes, B equal to B. That's it. Actually, that's a very good equation, Shriman. It works in a lot of questions. Broad equals to broad lot of times, and narrow equals to narrow lot of times. Okay, that I'll try to explain in the class. Okay. This question also I'll try to explain later, because here there are two organizations. Here also one organization is there, initiative of, and whereas here also coordinated by is there. Okay, which one to eliminate, I will explain in the class. Okay, not now. Which one to eliminate, because here you have to eliminate either one or three. You cannot eliminate both. Why you should not eliminate both, I'll explain later. Pawan, yes, that Bright sir will be taking it. You can contact the office. Okay, they will try to explain. Okay, now coming to the most important numerical topic. So numericals also one class we will take for numericals, because every year one or two numerical questions are also being asked in the exam. So in this numerical questions, there are concept called basic numericals, and there is a concept called factual numericals. I'll try to explain with a very simple example. For example, this is the best question to understand basic and factual numericals. So for example, if they say that 18 years is required for some schemes, can we consider such numerical as a basic numerical? Generally, because in most of our schemes, we take 18 as a threshold, right? So most of the schemes we see, okay, let us take a driving license is there, or any pension schemes are there. Generally, contribution also starts from 18 years. Okay. But whereas, what about the 1600 calories? What do you consider the 1600 calories? Will you consider it as basic, or will you consider it as a fact? Okay. So these type of very specific, very good, very specific numericals, generally they are wrong in the exam. So remember one simple rule: basic numericals are plain or not plain. Basic numericals are plain or not plain. They are plain. Specific numericals like 1600 calories, 1500, something like that, they are not plain. I now try to apply that here. In 2020, this question was asked. Obviously, many students may not know the answer of this question in the exam. Very difficult to understand. Who will go and read the exact temperatures of ocean mean temperature? Very difficult. Okay, not every student can do that. So, but by techniques you can answer. So, which is a factual numerical here? The OTM is measured at the depth of 26 degrees. It's a very factual, which is 129 meters. Again, factual. Okay, we are not sure these numbers are right on. So, factual numericals, will you consider them plain or not plain? Definitely not plain. Okay. Here also one kind of factual numerical is there. Where is that factual numerical? 2025 question. Very good. 0.5. Okay, 0.5 again. We are not sure exactly if it is 0.5 or not. Okay, so these type of factual numericals, always you have to doubt. And here tell me which is a factual numerical. Yes, Pritham, all these things will be covered in the classes again. See, because it's a demo class, it's very difficult to include everything here. So that is just two, three things I'm trying to include of each class. So here, factual numerical, again I told you, basic numerical in age is what? Generally, basic numerical in age. Basic numerical in age is 18. Whereas what they have given? They have given 21. Same thing they have done very recently. Very recently, this question was asked in 2024. Now there are two factual numericals, 21 to 40, 3000. Tell me which is wrong. Very good. 21 will be wrong. Why? 21 is not a basic number for age. Which is a basic number for age? Generally, 18 is the basic number for simply. So this is how techniques class will definitely help you, because these questions we have discussed in the class, and in 24 this question was asked. Okay. So most of your questions are based on PYQs itself. Okay. Now coming to observation mindset. Till now we have seen some logical mindset. Okay. And how to answer. We have seen some institutions. We have seen one of the. We have seen some keyword. We have seen plain. We have seen not plain. Okay. And I have just only introduced you some of the keywords. A lot of things are there to discuss in not plain as well. Apart from that, now let us discuss some observation mindset as well. So in observation mindset, for example, especially in numericals, I'll only discuss numericals right now. Rest one right, one wrong, we'll discuss later in the class. Remember, this is an observation only. Okay, there is no logic to this. So please don't ask any logic from in observation mindset, because observation mindset is just based on your PYQs. Okay. So what we have observed in the PYQs is that whenever two numericals are given, we have always observed that one is right, another is wrong. Both cannot be right generally in the exam. This is an observation based on your PYQs. Okay. I'll try to say again. Whenever two numericals are given, can both be right? Tell me yes or no. Whenever two numericals are given, can both 1 and 3 be right in the exam? Answer is no. Please don't ask me logic. It is just based on the observation of your PYQs. Okay. You can check any question. You can check any question in your PYQs. Generally, whenever they give you two numericals, one of them will be wrong, another will be right. So this is an observation. So in this way, you can do a lot of observation. For example, here see 18 is there, 1600 is there. One of them will be definitely right, another will be wrong. Okay, in that way, a lot of questions are there. I think in 2025 also they gave some question called this PM Surya question is there, right? They gave 1 crore in one and another 3 lakhs in one. Again, in this also one will be right, another will be wrong, or one will be wrong, another will be right. Okay. Another observation based question, I'll tell you. This is also observation only. One observation is that in history questions, can the answer be all in general? It's an observation. Okay, there is no logic to this. Remember, in history questions, generally the answer will not be all. Remember that. Okay, because simple. History facts can be easily changed. History facts can be easily changed. For example, this question is there. This question, will the answer be all, first of all? Even if you do not know anything, will the answer be all? Simply strike off 1, 2, 3 in this type of question, because it's a factual history question. The answer will not be 1, 2, and 3. So now find out the answer in 1, 2, or 3. For example, you can easily club two things. Which two things you can easily club in this? Which two things you can easily club in this? Age of consent and conjugal rights. Basically, both are related to which topic? Age of consent and restriction of conjugal rights. Marriage. Very good. Marriage topic. Okay. So maybe the answer could be 2 and 3 in this, rather than going for 1, 2, 3. Generally, do not go for 1, 2, 3 in especially history topic. For example, here also, with reference to ancient India, Gautam Buddha was generally known which of the following epithets? Will the answer be 1, 2, 3? Generally, I told you, history, factual questions, the answer will not be 1, 2, 3. And I think at least you know one of them in this, very easy to identify. If you have read at least any book, you will definitely know one of the name, which is that Sakyamuni Buddha. Very good. So 2 is definitely there. So easily you can go for 2 and 3 in this. And one more thing also I would like to say is, none also generally we do not go. Okay. We go none only in very, very, very exceptional cases that I will discuss in the class. Those cases will be mostly very, very, very extreme cases. Extreme cases only will go for none. Generally, we do not touch all and we do not touch none in the exam. Okay. And based on that only, we'll try to answer the questions. Again, this is all based on observation. Okay? This is all based on observation. There is no logic to this type of things. Now, for example, I told you which is a broad questions, which are narrow questions in this. Please tell me which are broad questions and which are narrow questions in this. Okay. Whenever you see these type of questions, what happens is they try to give sometimes opposite also they may try to give. For example, distributed energy resources. What is the opposite of this? What is the opposite of distributed energy resources? Distributed. Distributed is something like this. From one place you can small distributed energy resources. Centralized, very good there. Centralized, very good. Centralized keyword. So distributed, the opposite is centralized. Look for any centralized energy source here, or all are distributed. For example, power plant is there. Power plant is a distributed energy source or centralized source? It's a centralized source. So is there any centralized source in the option? Battery storage. Battery storage is centralized or distributed? You can give me C or D. Okay. Battery storage is centralized or distributed? Battery you can use it anywhere. Battery is a distributed resource. It's there in your phone, it's there in your battery, it's there in your radio, everywhere it is there, right? Battery storage. Okay, it's in your bikes. It's a distributed energy. So what about biomass generators? They are also, it can be anywhere. Biomass generators, can it be in, nowadays I think even in apartments also, there are biomass generators. Okay. See, small distributed sources basically. Fuel cells. Fuel cells also very good. They are distributed. You can use to charge your phones in bikes, in cars, and even in buses. Also, they are trying to use fuel cells. And rooftop solar photovoltaic units, they are distributed or centralized. They are also distributed. So in that way, always write the opposite and try to check if there is any opposite. Yes. Whereas in this question, cashew, papaya, and red sanders, how many of the trees are actually native? What is the opposite of native? Okay, non-native. You can say outside or foreign exotic or non-native crops which have come from outside. So definitely in this type of questions, will the answer be all? There are unlikely that the answer will be all. And in fact, I told you none also chances are very, very less. The answer mostly will be in A or B. Okay, so that is how we have to think in the exam. Now coming to this question, I want to tell you one very good observation in this question. If I am saying that how many of the above have poisonous species among them, if I write butterflies do not have poisonous species, will you accept it? Butterflies do not have poisonous species. Will you accept that statement? Definitely, it is an extreme. In the exam, you will do the same thing, right? You will think it is extreme, you will eliminate it. I am asking to do the same thing here. Very good, Gaurav. Yes, some of them could be there. Same thing if I say fishes do not have poisonous species. Fishes do not have poisonous species. Again, there could be some fishes. Frogs do not have poisonous species. Okay. Again, some could be there. So what will be the answer of this question? The answer could be all. So these observation thinking are very important for the exam, okay, and which you can apply. And some misleading words will be there. This also I will discuss in the class. They'll just try to mislead you by giving important, like bigger animals. Like here, frog is very prominent. Here, fox is very prominent. Now tell me, do you really think the answer will be frog? Remember that prominent name will definitely not be the answer. Okay. Here also they are giving flying fox. Will the animal be fox first of all here? Will the animal be fox? Again, simple. The animal will not be fox. It is just to confuse you. They give you this prominent animals. So this type of observations also I'll try to give you in the class. Finally, with this one observation, I'll try to end the today's demo class, and we shall meet in the actual class. Just this one very unique observation I wanted to give you. This works in most of the exams also, not only this exam, especially this observation. This observation works in most of the exams. For example, let us say recently the term pumped storage hydropower. Yeah, some of the techniques you can apply, Pawan. Recently, the term pumped storage is actually a proper discussed in context of which of the following. Please listen to this important observation. Irrigation is there. Irrigation is there. Here, rainwater harvesting almost with respect to irrigation only. Okay. And suddenly, there is some new topic here. For example, if the answer is irrigation, don't you think C also will somehow with respect to, it has to be with respect to irrigation or water? Can I say that? Somehow it also has to deal with irrigation or water. If the answer is really irrigation or rainwater, remember the C option also should deal with something related to irrigation only, because that is how human mind works. But suddenly, if they give you some out of the blue option, then mostly that topic could be your answer. I'll give you one more example also. Find out here three things which are of same topic apart from the rest. Assisted reproductive technologies, nano drug delivery, vaccine production. ABC is talking about something related to which topic? Medical, biotech, very good. And if the answer is drug delivery, or if the answer is assisted reproductive technologies, or if the answer is vaccine production, what should be in the D option? Which topic should be there? If the answer is assisted, or if the answer is drug delivery, or if the answer is vaccine production, the D option should also have which topic? Something related to medical health. Very good. Disease or medical health. Whereas this is a completely different out of the blue topic. Okay, now I will not give you the answer. You only tell me which three things are talking about the same thing and which one option is completely talking about something else. It's a 2023 question. Which three things I can club easily? Very good, very good. Crop, again biodegradable, again biochar. Okay. So converting crop into packaging material, biodegradable, biochar, conversion of biomass. Suddenly there is one unique topic talking about diseases. Whereas if the answer is packaging material, biodegradable or biomass here, what will be the option in one? If the answer is two or three or four, the option one also will be related to biodegradation something. Whereas here clearly it is out of the blue or out of odd one out kind of thing. They have given diseases. So this is on one very good observation. This observation works in in most of the exams as well. Not only just UPSC exam, it works in different exams as well. Okay, I've checked some of the questions in different exams. So remember this. This is called, because human mind works exactly in this way only. Even you think or I think, even the examiner mindset thinks, okay, this is how we generally think. So somewhere we are giving something out of the blue, that could be definitely the answer of the question. So these are some things which I wanted to discuss. Okay, and what all you will be learning in the classes I have given in one slide. So different things we'll see: interchange, we'll see some subcategory. There is something called subcategory technique. This I'll teach you in the class. Then legally binding, already we have seen. Broad thinking, I will teach you. Narrow thinking, which is very important in the present context of the exam. Okay, and I'll teach you some application based, restriction based questions. And then we'll see some keywords such as maximum, major, how to deal with these keywords, how to deal with numericals in the exam. Okay. And we'll also give you some areas of focus at the end. Okay, at the end, I think we'll give it to everyone, not only specific to this elimination classes. These areas of focus will be given to all the students. Okay. And some observation techniques also I'll teach you, like how to just see the question and answer options. That will come at the end. Okay, just like when you have only 5 to 10 minutes left in the exam, what to do in those 5 to 10 minutes, I'll teach you. Okay, in the last, for example, you will have mostly 20 questions to answer in the last 5 to 10 minutes. Okay, so in that 5 to 10 minutes, those 20 questions, how you can mark in the exam, that will be taught in the class. Okay, what are the best options? So when there are three statements, which is the best option? When there are four statements, which is the best option? When there are four options, six options, seven options, how to handle those questions in the exam also will be taught. Again, that is completely observation based. There is no logic in that. Okay. So that is the reason the classes are divided into two things. One is logical mindset, another is observation mindset. Okay. So see you in the classes, sir. If you have any doubt, please contact the academy itself. Okay. No, Santosh, classes will not go year wise. Classes will go techniques wise. Okay, I taught you, like first I taught you plain, not plain, right? So one day we'll spend only on plain, not plain. Second day we'll spend on numericals. Third day we'll spend on logical. Fourth day we'll spend on these facts, how facts, different facts are changed. Okay, and fifth day, finally, I'll teach you observations. Okay, so that is how the classes are designed. Class will be in the evening 8:15, because I'll be having work till 8 o'clock, because that is the reason the classes will be at 8:15 every day. Daily we can. Okay, from Wednesday, we'll take the classes, and the class duration will be 1.5 hours. Five classes will be there. This video will be uploaded in YouTube. Maybe, yeah, we'll try to upload this video in YouTube. Classes will be daily, Pramod, from Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yes, definitely. You can't just depend on techniques. Obviously, 30 questions, Bharat, which is your responsibility. Okay, always, every year it is the same thing. At least that 25 30 questions are expected from a student who is preparing for the exam, right? So what I would say is, from now on, if you need some strategy also, I would say you should focus more on basic things like history, polity, economics, environment, especially fundamentals of physical geography. Fundamentals of physical geography, nowadays 4 5 questions are coming from that particular book. Okay, for example, landforms are there, your climate is there, or ocean is there, water, so water vapor is there. So they are asking the atmosphere, I mean atmosphere. So they are asking one question from each topic. So 5 questions mandatorily will be asked. So those 5 questions are your responsibility. Okay, in that also we'll apply. Okay, but they're easy questions. Try to answer them using your knowledge only. Okay, in that way, there will be 25 questions, I think. Mostly 25 to 30 questions will be there, which you will be able to answer. Okay. Rest, we have to definitely try something in the exam. So rather than just thinking in the exam, it's better to be prepared how to handle those rest of the questions. I would say you should focus more on static part. Okay, like Lakshmikant is there. Lucent is there. Lucent is the best book. Last year also, one very difficult two, three questions of history came from Lucent itself. Okay. So whatever time you have, don't waste on reading lot of current affairs or lot of books which are not required. Okay. Just read four, five books. That's more than enough. Okay. So Lakshmikant is there, Lucent is there, Fundamentals of Physical Geography, and normal your geography NCERTs. Okay. And any very small good source for environment, very small. If it is like 100 pages or 50 pages, that's more than enough for environment. Because the rest of the environment questions are mostly current based. Okay, so don't waste much of your time in environment topic. Okay, so I would say focus more on those static four things. Okay, your polity, history, geography, and economy. That's it. No, these classes are live classes. All the classes will be live. It will start at 8:15 from Wednesday. Any queries you can ask the academy. So this like you can note down the academy number as well. 9391 420 024. Okay, 9391 420 024. Yes, Santosh. Yeah. Next classes will have detailed discussion.